Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be looking at the Premier League predictions for this year and where I think each team will finish, along with top goal scorers, assists and players of the year, etc. So I'm not going to waste much time, but remember guys, like, comment and subscribe so you can get a chance of winning 5k on FIFA 18 when it does come out. So yeah, let's just get into it. At the bottom of the table, I am going to put Watford. Obviously, they made a good signing in Andre Gray from Burnley, had a good last season, and Richarlison looked good when he came on against Liverpool. But he's had a new manager. They've got a new manager now, and although he has had time to adapt to the league with Hull last year, he eventually couldn't stop them getting relegated to the Championship. So I don't think he'll do any different with Watford, and with the same old team near enough, barring a few players, I just don't think it will be enough to keep them from getting relegated, basically. So that's where I've got Watford this year. And in 19th I have got Huddersfield. Despite having a really good start against Crystal Palace, I just don't think they'll do very well. They've made a few good signings, but they all lack Premier League experience, and I just don't think they'll be strong enough to stay up, considering they didn't even gain automatic promotion last year in the Championship. So although they got promoted and they could be a different team this year, the fact that they didn't even win all their games in the or enough games in the Championship last year to gain the automatic promotion shows that they probably won't be able to win as many in the Premier League either. Moving on to 18th, I actually have Burnley. They have made some good signings with Premier League experience, but at the end of the day, they got rid of their best centre-back to Everton with Michael Keane, and obviously they've got rid of the best striker in Andre Gray, and haven't really replaced to a good enough standard. Like, they have replaced the players, but not to the standard of Gray and Keane. So I just don't think they'll be good enough to avoid the relegation this year, and they will finish 18th. Now, in the 17th position, quite controversial, I've got the ex-champions Leicester. Obviously not last year, but the year before that. They have made some strong signings, and Jamie Vardy does look to be at his best again, but they don't have great squad depth within the team. So I think if they're met with injuries in the season, which you are likely to be in the Premier League because it is such a rough and a hard league, I think they'll really struggle. But I don't think they'll get relegated. 16th we have newcomers Brighton. They made a good goalkeeping signing in Matthew Ryan from Valencia or Genk. I'm not really sure. He went on loan to the Belgian league somewhere, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's a really good signing. And but at the end of the day, the other signings haven't got Premier League quality. They're not good enough for the Prem, so I just don't think they will be higher up in the table. 15th I have Newcastle, returning to the Premier League obviously after 1 year away. They've made very few signings, and only really Atsu is the player that's got like Premier League quality. Obviously they've just signed Joselu, but I'm not really sure. They have very little squad depth again, but Rafa Benitez, obviously they have managerial experience in the Premier League, so it should be enough to stop them getting relegated again. In 14th I've got West Brom. They made a good signing in Jay Rodriguez, and they've just signed Gareth Barry, which will help them massively in relegation, because you know Gareth Barry's used to the league now. He's played in it for years and years, captain in Everton, so he knows how to do well in this league, and it will be very decent for them. But they're nowhere near good enough to get anywhere higher really. So yeah, that's where I've put West Brom. Stoke are going to be in 13th. For me, they made some good signings in all areas of the pitch, but they are a few good players away from challenging for a Europa League place. So they're not quite there yet, but they are improving. Obviously, they used to be known as just the team that long-balled it all the time, but they are playing some really nice football now. And yeah, I can see them having an average season. In 12th, I've gone for Swansea City. They've made a few good signings that are good quality. But the thing is, they've only replaced players that they've got rid of, and they haven't really added to the squad. Like, for example, they got rid of Jack Cork and brought in Roque Mesa, so they haven't really added anyone, so they don't really have a strong squad depth. But I think they're good enough to finish in mid-table, and they won't be getting relegated in my opinion. But yeah, I think they do need to add to their squad a bit. In 11th position I have gone for Bournemouth. Obviously they signed Begovic and Defoe. Defoe's got bags of Premier League experience, and Begovic has got quite a bit of it as well. But with Defoe, obviously he keeps proving how good he is year after year, but you just have to think, like, how many years does he actually have left in him before he becomes not good enough? But similar to Stoke, they are a few good players away from challenging for the Europa League, so that's why I have them at 11th. position. In 10th, I've got Crystal Palace. They got a new manager, Frank de Boer, and they've had a really bad start, obviously losing to Huddersfield, which isn't very good. But they've got pretty much the same squad as last year, barring a few. So I think they'll have an average season, not great, not bad. That's probably good for Crystal Palace, to be fair, 10th. But you know, they have got a decent squad as it is anyway, and obviously Benteke is pretty good. So yeah, I think Crystal Palace will have a good season. Southampton next, coming in 9th position. They have a new manager again, Maurizio Pellegrini, and they have signed Lamina from Juventus, who, to be fair, is the only really good player that they've signed that's got like Premier League quality. And there's adding on top of that the uncertainty surrounding Virgil van Dijk. I think it'll stop them qualifying for a Europa League place, especially if they do lose Van Dijk, because he is such a big part of their squad. So yeah, I think West Ham will finish in 8th. Obviously, it's a massive jump for them. They've made lots of amazing signings with Premier League experience. They're all proven in the Premier League. Obviously, Zabaleta for Man City, Hernandez for Man United, Joe Hart for Man City, etc. And to be fair, they didn't look bad against Man United. They just got thoroughly outclassed by a very good Man United team. But I think they will have a great season. And then in the 7th position, I am actually going to go for Everton. They've made lots of good signings again with Rooney, etc. and Sandro, but they do have a lot of work to do to close the gap on the top 6. I think they could come close this year, but I just don't think they're on the same level of the likes of Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Everton, and Arsenal, and Man City. I can't remember who I've just said, but yeah, there is a massive gap last year, but I think they will close the gap, but still not good enough to get top 6. Now, controversially, in the 6th position this year, I am going to predict that it will be Tottenham Hotspur, which is very controversial, but you know, they've failed to sign anyone yet, and with the same tactics and same team as last season, I just think like they're going to get worked out by clubs, and people are going to find out how they play. They're going to start marking Dele Alli. Oh my God, sorry. They're going to start marking Dele Alli and Harry Kane as well as Eriksen. So, you know, you just think, as well as getting rid of Kyle Walker, who was a massive part of them last year, you just think that they're going to fail to retain their top 4 spot and their title challenging spot, really. But yeah, you could prove me wrong and win the league, but who knows. In 4th position, fifth position, I've gone for Liverpool. Obviously, they've signed Mohamed Salah as well as some others like Solanke and Robertson, but and Salah does look very good, and they look very scary going forward. Liverpool, they look very strong, but they've got a lack of squad depth. They haven't got a great bench and reserves, and they do get met with a lot of injuries. And obviously, if Coutinho leaves, they're going to struggle to get top 4, especially when they still haven't improved the defence, which needs improving a lot. In 4th, I've got Arsenal finally to retain their 4th position again. Finally made the striker signing that they needed with Lacazette, and Kolasinac looks like a good signing as well. So yeah, I think they're lacking the quality to win the league or challenge for the title, but I think they will manage to get their Champions League place back at the end of this season, and then hopefully next year try and push and get a better finish than 4th. But yeah, they definitely needed that striker, because Giroud is good, but Lacazette will be better. 3rd, Manchester United. Lukaku's obviously a great signing for them, with players like Matic to strengthen the midfield as well that they've signed. And with the likes of Pogba behind Lukaku feeding him in, obviously the Man United players are going to be better than the Everton players. And Lukaku ain't going to lose any quality, and he is going to be able to finish all the chances. Well, not all of them, but a lot of the chances he gets given. But I just don't think they're going to win the league. I think Mourinho isn't the right person for the club, and I think he'll stop them challenging for the title ultimately. Although he's a great manager, I just don't know whether he's lost it or not, to be fair. So that's why I've put Man United 3rd, and I just don't think they're going to win the league, despite the fact that they have got Lukaku. 2nd, I got Chelsea. Made some good signings, but I don't think that they are that world class. Obviously, signed Rudiger, Bakayoko, Morata, who's decent, but again not amazing. Although he's young and talented, I think he'll struggle over the entire season or the whole 38 games. I don't think he'll be consistent enough, and with Hazard's future uncertain, and with a similar setup to last year, I think they'll just miss out on the title. Also, they've lost a key player in Matic, which would undoubtedly help them if they were going to try and win the league. But yeah, I just don't think they're going to do it back to back, and I think Conte is going to really struggle this year to get that title. So because Chelsea are 2nd, that means you all know who is first, and it is Man City, in my opinion. They've strengthened their defence massively, which was needed, and they've added a lot of depth to the squad. So they do look very strong. Obviously, they've brought in Kyle Walker, Danilo, Mendy, brought in some decent players, and Guardiola's had a season to adjust to the league, and he can really make this team his own now. And with Aguero still looking really strong, and also they have a lot of youth with like Sterling, Sané, and Gabriel Jesus. I just think they've got the right mix of everything. They've got great playmakers in De Bruyne and Silva as well. With obviously Aguero banging them in, and then the youth. I think they'll do enough to win the league this year. And so that is my top 20 now, guys. That's where I think everyone will finish. It is a bit controversial. Let me know where you put yours. But now going on to the top goal scorers. Third, I think, will be Lukaku. Obviously, I've got Man United to finish third. But with the likes of Pogba supplying him and other players as well, like Mkhitaryan, I think he'll be able to bang in a lot of goals for Man United. Second, I've got Harry Kane. Although I've got Tottenham to finish sixth, which is very controversial. I think that Harry Kane gets a lot of Tottenham goals, although Eriksen and Dele Alli chip in with a few every now and then. He got the most hat-tricks last year. He got quite a few of them, so I think he will be second. And then first, obviously, I've got Manchester City to win the league, so they are going to need a goal scorer, and obviously we've seen that Aguero can do that in the Premier League, so I think that he will be the one to grab the top goal scorer over the season, and you'd expect him to average around 20 to 30 goals if they are going to win the league. So yeah, there's my top three. Lukaku third, Harry Kane second, and then Sergio Aguero to become the highest goal scorer in the league and get the golden boot for them. So now we've just got to talk about assists and then the players of the year. And assists, we've got Firmino third, Hazard second, and De Bruyne to have the most assists. Firmino, obviously, Liverpool have got a great attack. They've got Salah, Mane, Firmino, got other players that can charge forward from the midfield like Emre Can as well. And Firmino does pick himself up a lot of assists. I think he got the second or third highest amount of assists last year, which just show how many assists he gets. Second, I've got Eden Hazard. Obviously, if he does stay at Chelsea, he will be a crucial player for him to finish second, because although they've not won the league, you do need to have a very good campaign to finish second. So I think Eden Hazard, obviously he has the skills and the goals, but I think he will get the assists as well. But you never know really, with Costa not looking like he can go. Morata is going to be very much the first choice striker, so Hazard might have to supply him with some more goals. And then first, obviously, De Bruyne. I think he's an amazing player, and if we've got Aguero as a top goal scorer, he needs someone to be assisting him, and we all know that Kevin De Bruyne is more than capable of doing that. I think he got the most assists in the league last year, so yeah, it wouldn't surprise me there. So finally, we have the player of the year and the young player of the year. Start off with the player of the year. I think it's going to be Eden Hazard. Obviously, it could change depending on how Chelsea do and if he stays or not, and if other players stay like Costa and if they perform. But if everything goes to plan for them, he's a great player. He's very skilled, if on the ball and off the ball. He makes some great runs. Obviously, he's capable of scoring lots of goals in a season. And yeah, I just think he'll be really crucial for Chelsea. And although Man City will be up there winning the league, I do think he'll get player of the year. But then young player of the year, I am going to give to Man City, and I'm going to give to Gabriel Jesus. Obviously, with the likes of Aguero playing, even at the weekend against Brighton, Jesus started in a two up front with Aguero. And with Aguero having the quality he does, he will be able to learn a lot from him. And he does look very good. He has a lot of potential for himself anyway. So I think he will get himself lots of goals this year if they do win the league. And obviously, if they get any injuries to Aguero, he is going to still be the first player on the team sheet up front. So that is what I've got there. So I've got Aguero, Harry Kane and Lukaku as the top three goal scorers. De Bruyne, Hazard and Firmino for the most assists. Then I think Eden Hazard will be the player of the year, and Gabriel Jesus will get young player of the year. So that is going to be it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's only my opinion. So yeah, please remember to leave a like and comment. Also, let me know down below who you think is going to win the league and who you think the top 6 are going to be. Mine's been quite controversial, but yeah, remember to leave a like, guys, and subscribe to win 5k. But apart from that, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.